Everyone get ready and put on your thinking hats. It's time to save Diablo 4 again. For like the 15th time this month or something.
How to fix Diablo 4.
Finish eating?
Let me explain how to fix Diablo 4. Number one, you put in more good stuff.
Okay.
Number two, you take out the bad stuff. And you just keep doing that. Yeah, put more good things in, take the bad stuff out. Dev saw that?
Yep.
Because you imply that there are developers.
Are there?
What makes you think that? Yeah. Alright.
You have definitive plans to grow? Are you enjoying the 1K viewer level? If you're asking me if I would enjoy having more viewers than I have now, as a content creator, it doesn't matter what my number is, the answer will always be yes.
Yes.
I definitely think that D4 is good for a while. By Season 3, if the game isn't massively improved,
we saw this video from Skittles, by the way.
He's not playing the meta spec that does the most damage? Why? Does he want to lose? Why isn't he playing the best spec? Why is he's not following the guide on the website that tells you how to play the game? Does he not have the right stats that the website tells you to have? What's he doing? Like, this isn't the right, because the thing is, like, I thought you were supposed to use the right spec for all the right things.
Dude.
What is this?
Relax, it's not so deep.
And we will be full-time variety.
Also, it's a necromancer, literally best class ever.
Faith, but same. I think the game will be massively improved by Season 3. You can call it copium or whatever you want.
Well, I think it probably will be better. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it'll get a lot better. He made a video about why it is using the build. Yeah, I'm just joking around. But I do think the game will like over time improve. Of course it will.
That's
and by season 10 it might actually work. But, you know, I mean, sure, yeah, I think it'll get better.
We have roughly the same expectancy rate for this game, by the way.
Every season, hopefully. Right? It's just that, like, at that point, people have already played a lot of seasons, and, like, is it going to be different enough to have people come back and play it again?
No.
That's I'm pretty sure they released the game because they were locked into a release date. There was things they still wanted to fix, like resistances, and they need a few seasons to iron it out. So the people that don't have the patience are going to leave, which is a perfectly acceptable opinion to have, by the way. And I get it. The game's a little dry right now for me, too. What about D4 expansions if seasons aren't great?
See, the game isn't dry for me. I'm going to explain how I can enjoy Diablo 4. I play it for a few hours a day.
Okay.
That's how I enjoy the game. Is I only play it for a few hours a day, maybe at most. Like, usually I play it for like 1 hour.
Dude, same.
Because I could tell, like...
I stopped, when the game came out, I played a lot, then I cut down to 1 hour, and now I have cut down to no hours. It's pretty effective.
2 elixirs, right? That's like 2 30-minute things. And then I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go do something else. Like Honkai Sorrow. Yeah, like, I mean, I don't give a fuck. Who cares?
Like a verse game. Oh, no.
And it's been, like, the most healthy thing for me to do.
I'm gonna be honest. If they can't get seasons right, then I don't give a fuck about expansions.
Yeah,
seasons are a core fundamental of the game.
That's so true. Because, like, if they... Dude... What the hell is an expansion gonna be? It's just gonna be a really big season.
Yep.
Yeah, game's not your life. Yeah, who gives a fuck? Like, yeah, I'm not gonna get worried about that.
I think they are showing the potential to be pretty good. I don't believe they're currently pretty good. I'm willing to give them time to develop it, and I'm not going to be a rage lord over it. But yeah, I definitely have my concerns. I think it has good bones, and I think there's a lot of potential, and there's a lot of things that they can do that are very minor changes that will massively improve the game.
Yeah.
Once those get added, we'll see how it flushes out. Like, what changes?
Yeah, so, like, all they need to do is, like, again... How to fix Diablo 4. Step 1, take out the bad stuff. Step 2, put in the good stuff.
I think we should start probably at the developer level and fire everyone who thought that this amount of stash space is a good idea. And to fire anyone who thinks that nerfing experience on a regular daily basis at this point was also a good idea. If we get rid of that, we are slowly starting to at least alleviate some problems. Now, the bad part of that is obviously the fact that that's most likely literally every single person that has worked on Diablo 4. But, hey, I see no issue with that.
Fucking solved. So, like, for example, Cold Enchanted, you take that out of the game.
Ah, he finally... Dude, I was I was against cold enchantment BS from the start. If that thing is on the wrong mob, aka some kind of assassin mob or whatever you want to call it, it's just gonna one-shot you most of the time. It's the dumbest thing ever.
And then instead, you put in a new unique that's cool. Problem solved.
I think we can start with having resistances fixed in Season 2 and see what it looks like when resistances are actually in the game.
Yeah.
I think that there's still some smoothing out that can happen with the power leveling in terms of 1 to 100. I think in particular the 80 to 100 experience is a bit unenjoyable and repetitive. I think World Tier 5 will help.
I actually didn't mind 80 to 100. Oh, that's cold enchanted. He's about to have a bad time if he doesn't one-shot him.
He will, though.
I think 80 to 100 was okay whenever I was doing it on my Barbarian, and I could just get Paragon levels really fast because I was spamming Nightmare Dungeons. The problem was whenever I couldn't do that. That's whenever, because now you can't level as fast.
One of the biggest problems in the game, in all honesty, currently is 40 to 50. No one talks about this, but it's actually true. 40 to 50 is just such a slug where literally nothing happens. Uniques don't drop often enough, your build cannot be changed, and you probably already have literally every piece of gear that you want to have. And then it's just like, okay, I just need to grind, and that's all I can do at this point. It's just grind until you unlock Hell Tides and whatnot. That needs to change. The 40 to 50 is just absolutely abysmal currently.
Help smooth out this graph a little bit. I think grinding to 50 is actually pretty fun, and then you get to World Tier 3 and you feel a big spike of power, and then 50 to 4 feels like a pretty good grind. You get to 4 and you get the Ancestral Gear and you get powered up. But then by the time you're about level 80 in Tier 4, there's not really a lot to do. You feel like you're maxed out at this point. You're leveling just to level, and you're pushing Nightmare Dungeons, etc. When they add World Tier 5, there will be more.
And keep in mind, Nightmare Dungeons actually are the same dungeons you've been doing.
Yes.
So it might say it's a Nightmare Dungeon, but the truth is it's the same dungeon that you did at level 9.
Yep.
It's just the numbers are bigger.
Yep. There's literally nothing changed about them, by the way.
Exciting.
It's great.
Experience to be gained from it. They can also use that to remove things like sacred item drops that are happening in World Tier 4. So it's like you go to 5, now you only get Ancestral Gear, you get more experience, it's a little bit more challenging. It makes the overarching levels of the world make a little bit more sense. Now, World Tier 5 doesn't solve, like, the overarching issue of having...
I'll say this again, World Tier 5 literally does not solve a single issue. What you want is actually items with decent variety, decent stats. Literally just copy every stat from Path of Exile, and now we're slowly starting to talk. PoE, item upgrading is always fun, it's always interesting, it's always there. When you find a ring, you are interested in that ring to see. And there's like, oh, I'm not just upgrading these stats one for one and getting the numbers bigger. No, maybe there's like this ring has cast speed instead of like 5% whatever fire damage, and that's pretty big. Maybe that's actually better. Who knows? It's interesting. Diablo 4 doesn't have that.
Content in the game. What it does is it just...
Yeah, it doesn't. Like, World Tier 5... Because, like, World Tier 3...
It's stupid.
You're
Stop,
only
please.
in World Tier 3 long enough to get to World Tier 4.
Yes.
So if they add World Tier 5, you're... Like, Quinn brought this up. I think he's right. If you add World Tier 5, you're just going to be in World Tier 4 long enough to get to World Tier 5.
Yes.
And that's it. The same problem's going to happen.
And then the moment you switch the World Tiers up, the new gear starts dropping. It takes like 20 minutes to replace all of your gear, and then maybe once in 10 hours you're going to get an upgrade to that a single piece of gear. Ain't that fascinatingly great gameplay? No, it's not. It's shit.
Happen.
Adds a little bit of a better graph, a little bit better of a curve to getting to level 100. Then they still need basically the seasons to start being good and to have more content than just the hearts. I think the hearts are cool, but it should have been like one of 3 mechanics in the game. So I think there's a lot of quality of life they're working on. For instance, we're seeing this with the horse. They tweeted out that the horse spacebar is going to blow through barricades now.
That's so stupid, honestly. You know the reason why the horse blowing through barricades is stupid? And like the most failure thing ever if they implement it? It's the simple fact that the moment you're out of town, you instantaneously spam spacebar. Which means, about the time you're at the barricade, you have no charges for the spacebar. Which means, it's literally dead on arrival because you will never be able to use it because spacebar's on cooldown. What a great change. But that's for Season 5, honestly.
Stuff like that actually does go a long way. I also think that pushing everyone into the nightmare dungeons all of the time is actually fundamentally a bad idea. Like, I think the more and more and more...
So true. So fucking true. It is boring. Like, we have Helltide, we have the Legion events, you have the world bosses. The outdoor content is just simply a backdrop. It's annoying. Nobody wants to be out there because the levels are too low. Like, what the fuck are they thinking? It's so weird because, yeah, why would you not want to farm nightmare dungeons all of the time? Yep. Yeah, it's just they're too efficient for everything.
Or we focus on nightmare dungeons, like increase the density, increase the experience, increase the loot, and then we forget about the fact that the overworld is the newest part of...
The only way they fix this issue, by the way, is to add some kind of scaling power system to everything. Like the Tree of Whispers has some kind of scaling power system that you can accomplish by doing it. Helltides have the same thing. Dungeons have the same thing. That's the only way I feel that they are ever gonna fix this issue. And you know, that you can grind them, and you can grind them a lot. And you know, after like, I don't know, like tier 10 of the system, and the next tier 11 is like 0.5% of power increase and whatever, you know, make it kind of like that infinity grind. That would be better, but at least you have a reason to grind technically everything now, forever.
Diablo, and that the...
By the way, it's not a perfect solution, but at least it's technically a solution.
Overworld itself
is irrelevant.
Is actually a significant part of what people
do.
The
overworld is over.
It makes the experience small. They made this huge game, but then they funnel everyone into the same part of the game. And the dungeons that you do in the nightmare dungeons aren't even all of the dungeons in the game. So while...
And they're fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to... Oh my god, rescue 6 prisoners?
Again?
Oh my god, then there's an anima bar, but...
Yeah, and it's the same as kill the things.
Has the death on effect, so I have to wait for the death on effect to go away for me to then go in and collect the anima, but then, oh, there's 2 death on effects because it was a fire mob too. Fuck, guys, I gotta wait down.
They made this big, awesome, cool, visually, you know, nice world. They only show you the instanced part of it because that's where they crammed all the rewards. It's not like they can't make the overworld events and stuff have better experience. They absolutely...
I mean, they would need to try and do it, so it's not gonna work technically.
Absolutely can't. So I don't
But they're worried, like, what if they do that, and then everybody starts exploiting and doing world? Oh my god, everybody's gonna start doing world events, and then they're gonna have people AFK. But what if they start getting more experience than what the graph is supposed to allow to happen? Oh my god, and then
Relax, it's not that deep, princess.
Oh, but then it would just be chaos.
It's fine. Relax.
Jesus,
deep
bro,
breaths,
like,
deep breaths.
What are they thinking?
Deep breaths.
Understand why we're not seeing significant buffs to overworld events. I don't understand why we're not seeing significant buffs to the world bosses. Legion events now get a guarantee.
I mean, Asmon's actually completely right, because for some reason Blizzard has done this for literally 20 years in a row. It's like, make game. Game has multiple things happening in game. But concentrate on one thing in game only. Why? I don't exactly know. But it's like, okay, this game has like 5 mechanics theoretically, but we're gonna concentrate on just one. For no literal reason, it's like arbitrary. And that's what Blizzard does constantly. I don't understand why. Why can't they concentrate on, I don't know, more than 2 things? Well, I'm a man. I can obviously concentrate on two titties at the same time. So why can't Blizzard? It seems so simple.
Legendary, cool, that's great, but jack that shit up by 3, 4, 5 times.
Yeah.
Helltides is a good example of a cool thing to do.
No, it needs to give experience, man. Like, fuck the loot. It needs to give you experience that is valuable.
Overworld, I
something
agree.
else.
But there's absolutely zero logic to not buffing the absolute fuck out of Overworld events.
Yeah.
Because at the moment, Nightmare Dungeons are still the best thing in the game. They're still increasing the density, and they're still making them better and better and better. But if what they want us to do is the same...
And the Nightmare Dungeon events should be better, too. How many of you guys skip the events?
Oh, God. Yeah, we already know the answer is yes.
Based.
Same goddamn dungeon over and over and over
Based
again.
D4
They're going to
bad.
drive people away from the game. So for me, I do believe that they should have a much more significant focus on the overworld. That is what makes this game unique compared to the other Diablos.
True.
I don't know if forcing people into instances is better for server load or something, but I actually don't really care. Because it doesn't feel like my problem to solve.
Good.
Yeah, I think world bosses should be harder. They should give them more experience.
I don't care if Blizzard needs to make like 5 blood sacrifices of their interns every day to keep the servers going. Literally not my problem.
Maybe the lower levels are fine. The higher tier should be buffed the way the fuck up. And they should give...
They should try to do a world boss that you could only do with like a 4-man group and make it really hard, like a Legion raid and or a Guardian in Lost Ark. Just do it.
The dream, yes, I absolutely 100% agree with this, but that's never happening. I said this again. I said this before. I'll say this again. There's not a single person who actually plays Diablo 4 and wants the game to be complicated, okay? Every single person playing Diablo 4 wants the illusion of challenge. The moment the game becomes challenging, people are not even gonna attempt that content, okay? They're not gonna try and learn it. They're not gonna do anything. Diablo needs to be as little challenging as humanly possible, or no one is gonna play it except like the minority of minorities.
Do it. See what happens.
But I want that because I would
significant rewards. I actually said that about the world bosses like a month ago. I was saying something they could do is literally have the world bosses be a big dick loot drop of XP, so that way it actually feels like, oh my god,
people actually want to go do
there's a loot boss available, let's go do it. At the moment it feels like,
and it's also like the timer on world bosses. Like people told me this, like I'm home all day playing video games, so like who cares about me, right? But like there's a lot of people that like have this thing called a job, and so they'll go to their job and they'll come home and they don't know whenever the world boss is going to spawn.
Yeah.
I feel like fucking
dude, I'm at home all the day also, but you know, I'm not even looking it up, even though you have helltides.com, it's showing everything's happening. Bruh, it's too much effort, Blizzard. In-game time, it's like literally now.
They end up not being able to kill them.
No, I want experience. Alright, I'll keep doing the dungeons over and over again. So I think there's immediately obvious, easy ways to improve the flow of the game a little bit with only changing numbers and not having to introduce new content, personally. I think that there's ways to do it. Whether or not there's issues that I don't see related to that, balancing issues, power leveling issues, boosting issues, I don't
care. Who cares? Like, I'm so sick of the game being bad because of 5 exploiters.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you're gonna boost. Literally, I don't give a shit. Okay? Also, the people who are gonna boost in this game are probably countable on one hand. And, you know, they're probably fat, so they're gonna die of diabetes or heart disease any moment now. So it's literally it's a problem that solves itself.
Like, I'm so sick of like Blizzard making like, you know, for example, WoW is having this problem right now where it's like Augmentation Evoker, which is like the new class. It's a new spec for the new class, is like really overperforming and it's really cool. And people can't figure out how to start parsing and understand how parsing works with Augmentation Evoker. So everybody wants it taken out of the game because it's like frying WoW players' brains, the idea that there's a support class that you can't just look at the number and be like, oh, bigger number, better character. And that's it. It's happening in a lot of games. Yeah, it's pathetic. And I wouldn't be surprised if Blizzard completely changed it because of that. Yeah, they can't handle it. It's so stupid.
And you know what's the worst part about this? You know how Blizzard balances their games? They don't actually look at what people are doing in actuality. They just look at the numbers. oh, people are trying to do this. Oh, this does more damage than it should. Because it's randomly a skill as compared to another skill, even though they're not even relatable in real life. And it's like, this is underperforming 20% compared. This evoker skill is 20% worse than, I don't know, Hunter's steady shot. Oh, we better buff it, bruh. It doesn't make any sense. And this is ironically how they do all the balancing in the game. There is literally no human input. It's just a bunch of numbers, and then they just press sort. Okay? And then they see, oh, this is green, that is green, but they're not near each other. Well, buff it up so it is, baby. It's disgustingly stupid.
No, but I definitely think there are some ways available to fix some of that. Yeah, I don't think you have to increase the Overworld's difficulty in order to buff the rewards. As it stands, no one's doing the Overworld
Press spacebar 2 more times or I'm unsubbing.
farm. Like, people aren't running in a circle in the Overworld like it's in Mordo. People don't farm the events.
How
for
is he
XP
using the
unless they're
horse?
AFK
Like,
with
this is
Necromancer.
heresy.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Is that there was more outdoor world activity in Diablo Immortal than there is in Diablo 4.
I wouldn't know that.
There it is.
I think it's fine to keep the difficulty exactly the same while increasing the reward.
Wait, does that mean Blizzard can make Diablo 4 purely pay to win? I don't know what you heard, but I heard make Diablo 4 pay to win, and that solves all issues, boys.
I think that'd be fine. So that at least it's in the conversation of, oh, well, what do you do for experience? Well, I like Tree of Whispers. Like, at least that's a conversation instead of, like, we all know the answer already. Tree of Whispers is a chore. I actually really like doing Tree of Whispers. For me, it's the most fun. Like, I actually like it the best. But I feel like I'm wasting my time when I do it. I do like it when it lines up
Yeah, I completely agreed with his opinion.
with stuff that I have to do anyway for Renown. Then it feels really nice. Rewards suck from Tree. Yeah, fair enough. But, like, I at least like doing it. Which is, I think, another opportunity for a buff there, probably. I actually
Well, that's what matters, right? Is like if you actually like doing the content. And I feel like nobody ever talks about this, but like, yeah, that's what really matters. Is the content fun to do?
don't believe like the design of the overworld is actually bad at all.
I gave up Helltides when I made it 250. Yeah, like I don't like doing Helltides either because it just takes too long.
Wait, I haven't done a Helltide in like a month. Did they make it 250 so you can't easily just do 2 chests in a row? Dude, again, why make the game a ridiculous chore?
I think that the way the events are spread out, the Helltides, the Tree of Whispers, the dungeons everywhere, I actually think like it's a really...
I can actually tell you how Blizzard made this decision, right? They probably have a data sheet which explains how long does it take for the average amount of the average player to get to the cinders that they need to unlock the chest, and they were looking at it and said, "Oh, this doesn't even take 20% of the Helltide time, so let's buff the cinder amount that they need to acquire." Yeah, because that's a great idea, right?
Solid bone layout. I think we just get the balance of rewards right. It'll feel pretty good. Wish we can just...
Well, that's the same problem with every Blizzard game, is that they can't balance the game.
Yeah, because not a single person at Blizzard plays their games. They just have, like, paid actors who pretend that they play the games. I mean, that's... Again, I would be shocked if Blizzard has balanced anything based on their own on their own feelings about the game. I think it's literally all data-driven without exception.
For what it is now? Well, I'm enjoying it for what it is now. I'm just answering a question.
Yeah, I enjoy, yeah, sure, like, that's fine, it's good. I mean, I'm kind of having fun, I guess, but, like, goddamn.
I'll probably play an hour in, a week or two, sometimes, maybe. Probably not. Path of Exile's coming up soon, the new league. Again, looking forward to that Saboteur.
Like, it's just every game that they have,
hot.
It's just there are these massive imbalances in the game. It's almost like they do it on purpose. It's like, how is it that, like, every Blizzard game that comes out...
But they don't!
There's, like, some massive problem with it to the degree that, like, it's unplayable for anybody else that's playing something besides that. It's just nuts how this shit keeps happening over and over.
It is what it is.
I really don't understand it at all.
I mean, What is this? Oh, the next video we're gonna do probably. That's what it is. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sense, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye bye.